Oh my gosh. Season 2. Welcome to Decoding Taylor Swift. This season will probably be just devoted to the life of a showgirl. And we have some interesting opinions on it. My dad loves it. I have mixed feelings and a nuanced perspective as a member of, the younger generations. But rest assured that as people who are storytelling experts, my father, as he likes to brag about, bona fide nerd, and very, very celebrated author in his respective fields. Me personally, I am an opinionated teenager, so I also am good at dissecting things. So trust and believe that this season will be one to stick around for. And by the way, for those of you who have stuck around and have listened to season 1, thank you so much. We actually have a production and distribution deal now. Oh my gosh. So thank you guys for that. Like, seriously,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'm Joe Rome. That was Tony Rome.
Or Antonia.
And yes, we have a distribution deal with Realm, and very excited about that. And I'm very excited about this album. Season 1, that was all about how to use the secrets of Taylor Swift to become a better storyteller. And we dove into a whole bunch of stuff. And everyone should watch season 1 to go back, because we're not going to
Or listen. Oh, because here's the other thing, is now we're on video.
We are on video now. And I want to say something about this album. Taylor said on Travis Kelce's podcast that the point of this album was everything fitting together like a perfect puzzle for these 12 songs. So there is a perfect puzzle here, and she has done her best to embed some deeper meanings that I think some of the critics are missing entirely.
Sure.
So,
which is fair. I also think, as with any good piece of art, there are very good criticisms of it, and I am here to offer them.
Well, this is going to be an epic boomer-zoomer debate and discussion, and so let's dive into...
Let's dive in. Oh, 2 pieces of housekeeping before we begin the debate. I'm in college now, and so in the music room next to me, there is somebody who might be playing piano and singing opera. We've just realized that is going to happen, but that's beautiful. And me personally, I'm a little bit sick. So if you see me move out of frame, that is because I'm actually coughing, and I don't have typhoid. I just have a cold. But unfortunately, as many people have told me, college is a time where you're perpetually sick. So yay! Okay, anyway. Now,
and I just want to show people I have my new hat here.
Yes, we have merch, not for sale, but they exist in the world, and perhaps you can buy some if you feel so inclined later. And
if you like this podcast, please tell your friends.
Tell your friends. This is
the podcast to come to if you really want to understand what these songs mean, not what the critics have to say. Right, and not what Reddit...
And not what the Reddit has.
Yeah, you can learn stuff on those. Yes. Are you just going to repeat everything I say?
Well, basically, we are talented, we are smart, we're so cool. And our opinions are good opinions, and you should listen to us, is basically what I have to say. Because we know what we're talking about. I love writing. I'm a philosophy major, but that's just because I'm too scared to do creative writing. I also do physics, so trust and believe that mathematically wise, there are 12 songs on this album.
And I'm excited about this album because I've written about Hamlet and Shakespeare a lot. And and guess
I
what?
think it's more impressive to be a broke college student, so, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, as your father, I can say it's impressive for you. It's,
Actually, I'm not broke. I actually got a job on campus as a barista.
So, let's dive in. We are, just to be clear, what are we going to do in this episode, in this season, right? We're going to go through and just give initial takes and talk about some of the larger themes in this album.
And this episode is specifically for takes. This is first takes.
Right.
First takes.
And
we're going to go into the subsequent songs in the subsequent episodes.
Right. So then next episode, we will devote just to track 1.
Yeah. Actually, that's perfect because we'll end up having 13 episodes.
We will, and we may also do some bonus episodes. We'll have to figure that out. But the plan now is each episode, we're going to dive in to a song and go through and explain exactly what Taylor's doing, just like we did for other songs. In fact, the 13th episode of last season, we did that for Cardigan, right? And that was part of Folklore, and we did that because Max Martin, who co-authored a lot of these songs, said he wanted to do, kind of storytelling, and that album had interconnected stories. And this album also has songs that refer to each other.
Sure.
Right? And so anyway, what's the first song?
Yeah.
Well,
okay, let's just do some general hot takes first.
Yeah.
First hot take. I think that we were promised the lyricism of Folklore. I think that there's certain songs like The Fate of Ophelia, honestly, Life of a Showgirl, and, a few others, like Elizabeth Taylor, that I think are really up to snuff. They are quite good. And you have to give it a few listens. You really do. But that's how all Taylor albums work. That's how they've always worked. People hated Midnights when it came out. They were like, what the hell is this? And now a lot of people are like, it's her best album. So I think that what needs to happen is people just need to let this breathe and have time with it. The thing is, when you use the words trolling and meme in a song about the internet, obviously she used them to elicit reactions, sure. I'm not sure that is something that I can get behind. I think that Taylor Swift is such a talented songwriter. She could have found other things to
can we do these in order, my daughter?
Okay, but you give your hot takes first. You give a hot take first, then we can go down the line.
Well, first of all, I've read a lot of the critics, and I think that it is a challenge to do hot take of an album, as you said. First of all, I want to see what actual people who have to pay money for this album do, right? How do these songs do in the real world, right? That's very important to know. Is this a popular success, right? She's a pop singer, and that means selling albums, right?
I'm actually going on the U.S. Top 50 right now.
It takes a while. I don't even think it's possible to get in until Tuesday. She launched it on a Friday because they stopped.
Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
No, you continue. I'm going to go off screen and hack my guts out.
My daughter has not figured out how to take a cough suppressant. This is, yeah.
You know what? If Taylor can do it with a broken heart, I can do it with a broken esophagus. And that's my hot take.
The show must go on. The Showgirl must go on. Yes.
Facts.
Yes. And my daughter has been on stage, and she understands. And I appreciate her, her commitment to the craft here. I don't know what you're doing.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
And she's also been directing me. We did a promo.
Oh, yeah.
We did a promo.
I'm now the official director and script supervisor. Yeah.
We did a promo, and I thought take 6 was pretty good, but apparently my director daughter.
Okay, his delivery is kind of stale.
I'm sorry.
Okay. That's okay.
It is.
That's okay. Acting is hard. Personally speaking, I'm a way better director than I am actor because you can't hear yourself. So you have to give yourself grace, Joe. You really do. You really do. I think that you have a talent within you that people are going to try and exploit, and you cannot let them. But you have to foster that talent first. You have to learn how to use it for yourself, and that's what I try to do for you.
All I can say is that my daughter director drove me so hard that we didn't get a decent take. And it ended up being number 13. The take we're using.
That's true. We didn't even try that. That's kind of scary. I can't lie.
Yeah, it just happened that way. So,
would you excuse me?
my daughter. This is video is new to us. These will be going up on YouTube. And
it's fine. Is this a bit? This can be a bit where I just, cough until I kill myself.
Look, my basic take is that she's. First of all, I think this is ambitious, right? And, is she trying to reinvent herself? I saw some of the critics saying, well, she should really keep reinventing herself. It's like, guess what? You critic, when did you ever reinvent yourself? It's not easy to reinvent yourself.
Easy.
I think, this is I think this is a transition album. She has met Travis. There are a lot of songs on this album where she's clearly, in kind of a blissful love with Travis and also a kind of a sexual bliss. This has her raunchiest song on it.
It does. I think it's the best song. I can't lie.
Yeah, Wood.
I really like Wood. It's funny.
A lot of people thought it might be raunchy. We were a little skeptical because, but I will just say this. Shakespeare was very raunchy.
Oh, yeah, that's like all he did. Like half of it is just sex jokes.
Yeah.
Like whenever he says the word die, like talking metaphorically, usually that means like having sex. Usually it means that having sex, whenever Shakespeare said the word die, like metaphorically, like I was dying yesterday, like that meant sex in the like 1600s. So
yeah, look, and in fact, when we get to the next episode 2, we're going to dive into the fate of Ophelia, and
which I like. I really do think that is well written, good lyricism.
Yeah, and
I really
look,
do.
I'm obviously very biased. She puts Shakespeare in a lot of her songs. And in fact, she was being interviewed, and she says she has this thing where she doesn't like tragic endings to Shakespeare's plays. She did a whole song, Love Story, where she rewrote the ending of Romeo and Juliet. And so she's like, I'm rewriting Ophelia's story. And I like that. But if you read Hamlet, there's a whole raunchy dialogue between Hamlet and Ophelia, which we can get into. So
yeah,
I think
to an honorary. But
yeah, well, and also, and so the critics who are like, oh, Wood is like, that's just too raunchy for her. It's like, no, you're missing the point.
It's also like get with the times. Okay, let's really quickly dive into our first impressions of the fate of Ophelia.
Yeah, and look, so let's talk about the fate of Ophelia.
Let's talk about the fate of Ophelia. 1 minute you, 1 minute me, okay? Or we can just have a discussion.
We can have a discussion. But next episode, we're going to have a long discussion. Right.
Yes.
So we don't have to get in deep. I think that there is a lot going on in this song. There are a great many Hamlet references. I don't think the critics have noticed all of them and understand, what she's doing. So next episode,
you are like the ultimate Hamlet nerd. So next episode is going to be very interesting. Ever since he made me when I was 5 years old memorize the to be or not to be speech by singing it to me, and until I was when I was actually 2, and until I was 5, I had it memorized, and then I had to rememorize it again for high school. But it was really easy. Like when I tell you that this man is probably the most nerdy person that you'll ever meet in your entire life. If you have the opportunity to meet him, like the eye contact, will it be there all the time? Maybe not. The references to really esoteric pieces of art, yes, that will be there. He will tell you everything that you need to know. And that's your truth. And I think that's beautiful. So that is why that you really should listen to the next episode. Not to plug the next episode, but you should listen to it.
Well, look, I think Hamlet's the most famous play of all time.
My favorite Shakespeare play.
And it's mine.
That and Twelfth Night.
It's the greatest tragedy of all time. And so it's quite bold of Taylor to rewrite the story so that instead of Ophelia drowning, she gets rescued. And in this case, it's pretty clear she's rescued by Kelsey. So
yeah. And we'll not get into it, but I do just want to say, I think that I do think that it is a very interesting choice because Ophelia is a character whose whole story is about her lack of agency, right? She drowns because of her lack of agency. And I think the fact that she had to be saved by another man is a very interesting choice on Taylor's part. That's a little critique that I have that we'll talk about next time.
Well, I think that's yeah, and I think there's a lot. I do think there's a lot going on in this song, and as we've said, and one of the things that troubles me with the critics' hot takes is I'll see a critic quote a line from a song and say, ooh, there was New Yorker said, oh, Taylor inadvertently said this. No. Taylor doesn't inadvertently say things, right? Yeah. That was the point of the first season.
I think that's the other thing is people really do assume that she's just some sort of untalented, kind of one of those mediocre women who just gets really popular and and implicit in that is kind of, it also happened when Beyonce's Cowboy Carter came out. It was something sure, but what are you really doing? What are you actually doing? When it comes to female artists, I think a lot of the times people really think that they know better than them what their songs are about. I think we have to realize, and this is not a conspiracy theory, it's not me clutching at anything, grasping for straws. I'm being honest when I say I do think that Taylor Swift has not lost her game, I think that what is just that, you can have criticisms for artists, you really can, but the stuff that I see on Reddit and Instagram, very valid things. However, a lot of it kind of has a little undertone of like kind of misogyny, right? A lot of people like to criticize Taylor because she's gotten really popular. So she's an easy target, right? She's kind of a way that you could kind of subvert, the whole pop scene. You could kind of say, oh, I'm not like those people that listen to Taylor Swift. Like, I'm not basic, right? I think the problem with that is that nobody really said that about Bruce Springsteen. He was super pop. People who said that about the Beatles, the tone was completely different, right? There was no undertone of there's just this basic bleach blonde Barbie, right? As she references in her other song. Because society will try to masquerade sexism as just I don't want to be, basic, or like this is just too girly for me, or this is too much for me, or it's just like not good. I think that there are valid criticisms of this album. There really are, but I think if you are somebody who's criticized this album, you need to be really careful that what you're doing is not just pretending like you're special or cool because you don't listen to Taylor Swift.
Well, look, one of the points we made in season 1 is that many of her songs are very ironic. And if you read them literally, you might get the exact opposite meaning of what she intends, right?
Right, but that's all of irony. Yeah, right, people don't think of her songs as literature. And when you're looking at a song called Wood, like, I don't gotta knock on wood, my boyfriend's magic wand, when you just look at those, it's a little bit hard to be like, how is this? It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Oh, but a little bit hard. My daughter made a double entendre herself.
Yeah, whatever.
I know you're going to plug your ears when we talk about all of those double
oh my God.
entendres.
Whatever.
My daughter got, for those who haven't seen season 1, when I pointed out that a lot of that All Too Well was about teenage sex, my daughter was like, I can't have my father talk about teenage sex. And now Taylor has rolled out her raunchiest album ever. And this album...
You know what? Taylor is just giving me strength. And honestly, the worst part of hearing you talk about sex jokes is just that now it makes me sad because I'm so single and so lonely. So it really does just make me sad. It doesn't even hurt anymore. It just makes me sad. I'm not even lying.
Well,
I'm so alone. I'm so
whatever
alone.
You want to say about this album, I think this may be the only album...
It's okay. It's the first week of college.
I think this may be the only album by anyone, but by a female singer in which she sings one song where she says she has a big dick, and then she sings a whole nother song that her boyfriend has a big dick.
Slay.
So,
any children that watch this, all you have to know is that a dick is a nickname for Richard.
In some other songs, she gets very much more overtly raunchy, but she
she should.
Right.
As she should.
She's a grown-up woman.
And also she's influenced clearly a lot by Sabrina Carpenter, who has in the past also done stuff like that, which is why I like Sabrina.
Well, I will also note that Nicki Minaj on Instagram.
Yeah, that's how I prepare, bro. That's how I prepare for these freaking takes. I will rap a little bit of Nicki Minaj.
And sometimes I do. Sometimes I play Starship.
Sometimes I have gotten him to do it too.
All right. Nicki put on Instagram that she so needed to hear Wood. That was her favorite song on the album. I think it's
That's
got
mine.
like... Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So, and by the way, I think Wood is a dividing line for a lot of people because a lot of critics
between
are like...
the cool, hot people and the ugly, dumb people. I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. If you don't like Wood... That's well within your right. I'm just kidding.
There are a lot of critics, maybe the older ones, who are like, this is beneath Taylor to make these raunchy puns.
And in a way, they're right. It is beneath Taylor.
There you go. And
I'm so sorry,
I
guys.
think
I'm so sorry.
This is a very much a running theme in these songs is the raunchiness and the sexual language. And I think this is, and I just want to say, as we have often talked about Taylor foreshadowing things, her most romantic song ever is Lover. And it has a line that you save...
I save all my dirtiest jokes for you.
Right. So she is...
Make women horny again.
I think dirty... Clearly, if she and Taylor...
It's
she and...
That's feminism. That's feminism.
Yeah, look, I hope that Taylor and Travis enjoy telling dirty jokes. Yeah. That's what regular couples and people...
That's what regular couples do.
They do. And,
Like Tyrant by Beyonce? I love Tyrant. Love Tyrant. So dirty. I love Wood. I think that those are great songs.
Rihanna's song.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well,
yeah.
all of her songs, really.
Yeah, we the boyfriend who kisses her, right?
Yeah, Kiss Me Right.
Kiss Me Right, yeah. So
Love
look,
her.
that's the world that we're in,
Rihanna.
and you critics out there, if you
Take Me to Church. Take Me to Church was the OG.
Take Me to Church.
Oh, the OG.
Well, actually, there's one more OG than Take Me to Church, which is Despacito.
Oh, yeah.
Despacito, possibly.
But like music in Spanish, like learning Spanish has been such an eye-opening experience to me because now I'll just be listening to Bad Bunny and I'll be like, oh my God, wow, how did I not realize this 5 years ago?
Props to Bad Bunny for getting the Super Bowl.
I love Bad Bunny. Oh my gosh.
Props to Bad Bunny for getting the Super Bowl. But yes, Despacito. You have to get I'm not a Spanish speaker. You have to go and look up the translation to realize, yes, this is one of the raunchiest songs.
That's how I practiced in AP Spanish when I was in junior year. Let me tell you guys something. Tell your kids, tell yourselves if you're in a Spanish class, listen to Bad Bunny because that'll help you. If you're going abroad, you need to be listening to the raunchiest, craziest, like most slang-ridden songs that you can in Spanish because that's how you learn. That's how you learn. And honestly, I think that English speakers really should be, like, listening to this. Like, I've seen so many songs, like, so many reviews that have been like, I didn't learn English for this. But the thing is unfortunately, yes, you did. Yes, you did, because whether or not you like this album, the fact is that this is an incredibly wide-ranging use of themes, of language. It captures the zeitgeist. I mean, this is the moment that we live in. Like, it really is. And that's also my hot take.
And we will get into the best of the songs and the least of the songs. And
the worst of the songs.
The worst of the songs, yeah. Look, but
the fact is that, okay, whenever I'm thinking of criticizing, like, an artist, like, because everybody has implicit sexism, even women, whenever I think to myself, wow, this is quite shitty, I say to myself, if a smaller artist released this, if somebody, like, I don't know, just to throw, like, Malcolm Todd, if Malcolm Todd did this, if, like, a small mailer artist were, like, release this, or if it was, like, I don't know, Between Friends, or, like, I don't know, something like that, like, smaller alt people, I say to myself, like, I don't know, would I think the same things? Usually the answer is, like, no. I think that a lot of it is because she's popular. It's not because she's a bad songwriter. Some of it, as we'll get to in Eldest Daughter.
Well, and look, and let me add, let's remember, she brought in Sabrina Carpenter for track 12. Sabrina's made a whole career out of the sly, winking raunchiness, right?
I love Sabrina Carpenter.
Right, and more power to her, right? But,
more power to her.
Her latest album, we could do a whole, I mean, her latest album is kind of a brilliant compendium of kind of ironic, sexy raunchiness. So the point is, let's go through some of the other songs. I know.
Yeah, but we don't have to do all the songs, but we can touch on the most important songs. So the other song that I really like is Elizabeth Taylor. I will say the chord progression that I used in my little improv thing, that was very bad, and you don't have to go back and listen to it. But I had a very similar, I predicted a little bit of the Elizabeth Taylor. That was my version.
Yes, you did. You called out that she would be saying Elizabeth Taylor's name that way
Yeah. And I also just want to say I predicted literally perfectly. I told you bitches, I predicted that it would be a song, Eldest Daughter, where she only used the word eldest daughter once. And it was like in the middle of like some verse. I predicted that. And you know how I knew? Because Lorde did the same thing with Favorite Daughter.
Well, I got one prediction right too.
Yeah, what was yours?
Because everybody was saying Ruin the Friendship.
Yeah.
Everyone was saying Ruin the Friendship was
that's the other song that I liked.
Yeah.
And people who are talking about it being like, why is a grown woman talking about high school romance? You do not know the story. You don't know the lore.
It's a tragic story.
It's about a dude that she had a crush on she was friends with that committed suicide.
Yeah, it's a very tragic story. But I just want to point out that everyone was saying it was about Blake Lively.
Yeah.
And I, during our discussion, said, well, there is a second meaning to Ruin the Friendship, where you don't want to ruin a real friendship by getting, romantic. right? And so that turned out to be correct. But let's.
Oh, and the other thing
Yeah.
that she does have a diss track, which is actually romantic, and it's about Charlie XCX. As a Charlie XCX lover, I can't lie. She was kind of ate up in this song. I do like Actually Romantic. It's another kind of dirty song. She's very funny.
She has a line that it gets her
Well, we
wet.
don't have to say the line.
Oh.
It's fine. It's fine.
Wait, are you trying to silence...
It just makes me sad. It just makes me sad.
Are you trying to silence Taylor's raunchiness in Actually
I'm trying
Romantic?
to silence your raunchiness. Your raunchiness. You're too old to be raunchy. People over the age of 60 don't get horny.
Oh, now you're getting ageist. I see. Now you're getting ageist on it. So boomers can't be
you have freaking thyroid medicine.
I know.
You have thyroid medicine.
No one wants to hear that they're parents. I get it. All right.
Unless you have Hashimoto's. Shout out to my Hashimoto friends.
Your mother and I had sex only once in our entire marriage.
Yes,
just
that's
the
correct.
one time for you.
It was not enjoyed by either of you. You guys hated it.
It was not enjoyed. We were drunk out of our minds.
Oh, wow. It was like 1984. No. The wife in 1984 who hated it, saw the sex as mechanical. You guys didn't like it. And actually what happened was that you donated your sperm. She donated her egg, and I was grown in a lab. No sex was had.
Alrighty, so I think we beat that particular extended metaphor to death.
That's fine. That's fine. So, that's beautiful.
What other songs? Elizabeth. I like Elizabeth Taylor. And I think that, she's always trying to find a story about a strong woman, a very talented woman, a successful woman who had a hard time because of critics and the paparazzi and maybe some of her own choices. I mean, look, we're talking about a woman who was married 8 times to 7, or is it 8? No, what is a lot?
It was like 7 times to 6 people or something like that.
8 times to 7 people. She married Richard Burton twice. And there was a scandalous. Yes, she did go out with a married man. And look,
okay, but what are you supposed to do?
Right.
What are you
and
supposed to do?
Stuff, by the way, that's hardly even. It's not scandalous today, right? I mean, geez, people show up in concerts with someone else's wife, right, or someone else's husband, So look,
yes, in Coldplay
anyway,
concerts.
But it's a great song, and I think Liz Taylor, for people of my generation, she was one of the original, monster superstars, a great beauty, a great talented actress, made some famous movies when she was young. She was also a child star. I think that's the other reason Taylor likes her story, because she became famous very young and a breakout in the movie National Velvet.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
It's a horse race. The horse race, National Velvet.
You should put it on your wish list.
Oh! Wish List, which was also a surprise song.
I can't lie to you. I just didn't relate to it. I mean, it just kind of made me sad. It really did. But that's just because, the reason Wood didn't make me sad is because it was iconic. But TBH, maybe it's just because I'm too single. But whatever. Ladies, gentlemen, hit me up. Whatever.
Well, Taylor has been singing about her failed relationships for a very long time. And
which makes me feel better about myself, because maybe it's
oh God,
I've been in so many situationships, guys. Give me a real one. Anyway, whatever.
Wait, you've been in a lot of situationships?
Yeah.
This is news. We'll talk about this offline, my daughter.
I'll tell you later.
But look,
college is crazy, you guys. No,
I don't think anybody. I don't want to say someone deserves happiness. We all deserve happiness.
I think, everybody deserves.
But Taylor's been through it, right? And maybe she's made bad choices, right? She did. The whole point of Anti-Hero was, hey, I have this thing where I get older but just never wiser. So she acknowledges not every choice has been great.
Sure.
But anyway, and Kelsey features.
Kelsey. Right.
Features. I mean, even the podcast is name checked, right? In Wood, right? New Heights, right? And by the way, remember, everyone, we are Newer Heights and Newest Heights.
We are Newest Heights and Newer Heights. That's us. Yes. Hi.
Yes. So you had issues with
Eldest Daughter.
Yeah. Well, no, the song we were just talking about, which was
Wish List.
Wish List.
It's just because I'm not, she talks a lot about being afraid that when she becomes happy, the well will run dry, so to speak, of, like creativity. I think that just like, I don't know. I
We'll
don't know.
see.
I mean, it just didn't wow me,
Yeah, I
I mean,
understand.
I think that the well hasn't run dry, but the song is just not for me. Not
I
everything
got it.
has to be for young people. I
Absolutely.
get it. I
And what
get it.
about since we talked about Wood and we talked about wish list, so let's do eldest daughter. Yeah, let's talk briefly about
Yeah, eldest daughter.
You are the eldest daughter. You're also the youngest daughter. We
I'm the
talk about
youngest,
that.
and I'm sure. I think that here's the thing. Every joke's just trolling and memes. Every single hot take is cold as ice. Here's the thing. I I think nobody I think we can't know what it's like, what it has to be like to like constantly like go on the internet and see yourself bashed and bashed and bashed and bashed. And it's not even because you're like problematic. It's not even because, well, there are criticisms of her private jet use, which I do agree with. But the other thing, I mean, like seriously, like it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's just because you're making your art and people just hate your art and they hate you because you're popular. That has to be hard. Here's the thing. If I were Taylor Swift, would I have used this lyricism? No, I would not have. I was a little bit underwhelmed. The other thing is that, not to be the wokler, she is a billionaire. She's very rich. She can do whatever she wants. I mean, this is what this album is. She's doing what she wants, and that's beautiful, and she's very talented. The other thing is that, she, I think when you have that much money, it feels just a little bit out of touch to say that, you know, that she's like never gonna leave you. It's like an attempt to connect with people, right? It's an attempt to say like, I'm never gonna leave you. But she's kind of already left the realm of normal people, and she's long since left. And that's what the life of a showgirl is. And she, I don't think, is trying to hide that. But I do think that I don't think she is out of touch or tone deaf. There's no point in criticizing her because she's still going to be so rich at the end of the day that it won't matter. And I mean, the point in criticizing is then, therefore, to focus on the lyrics, to really dissect, to pick apart. So that's why I think that it is more worthwhile to talk about the lyrics in a very academic way, because I think that if you're doing it in any other way, there's just no point in doing it other than to make your voice heard.
Right, and
it's
I
not
think
contributing anything meaningful to society.
And I also think it's important, which I think is harder to do in the one day hot takes. I have to listen to one of her songs 50 times to really understand.
And he does.
And I do.
He does.
And I do. And that's how this podcast came about.
So ladies, please take him away from his computer. Take him away from Spotify. Well, he needs to go outside.
It's because she is very careful with her word choice. And a lot of it's ironic. And so you see critics will quote a line as if this is what Taylor Swift believes, which is just as crazy as quoting Shakespeare and saying this is what Shakespeare believes. No, he did.
Or even quoting his sonnets is a better example, because then it seems like perhaps it's what he means. He does not mean.
And so you have to, let's be, the interesting tension in this album is, on the one hand, she does complain about having the bad things that happen when you become famous.
Sure.
On the other hand, she also acknowledges in Elizabeth Taylor and in Life of a Showgirl that comes with the territory. It's not her, right? She's not the first person to go through this. If you make the choice to be a showgirl, right? The point of Life of a Showgirl is, if you choose that life, you were warned, right? That's the point, right? Kitty, right, warns her that, guess what? You don't know what it's like. It's really effing rough. So I do think, and I, so anyway, I think these are important songs to talk about. And look, I happy, be the first person to acknowledge that no one's going to put out an album, including Taylor, in which every song works, right? And this, but I think people are going to get judged at the end of the day, when you ask, how do we think about the Beatles, right? Or how do we think about Bob Dylan, right? I don't think a lot of people spend a lot of time thinking about the songs that didn't work, right? You list these, right? I mean,
that's a good point. That is a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think and by the way, and Life of a Showgirl and is really about immortality, right?
Yeah.
And the immortality comes from how many great songs did you do? Right. And Taylor has become very prolific. I think that's another thing. She did this album while she was doing the grueling Eras tour. Right. So, yes, I think anybody who decides I'm going to put out a lot of content, obviously, they're not all going to be winners. And, but I think that there are a lot of great songs on this. Which ones haven't we hit? Oh, Father Figure. I just want to mention, Father Figure, which was an
interpolation of George Michael's.
Right, but none of the same lyrics.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
None of the same lyrics. And by the way, in the movie, which we might talk about more next week, because the movie launches the music video for Fate of Ophelia. She gives an intro to each song where she talks about it. And, remember when we talked about Father Figure, I said, oh, that's great alliteration, right? Yeah. Well, when she talks about it, she says, oh, I have always loved alliteration. She says, Father Figure. I just loved that title from George Michael because it has alliteration. And a lot of these songs, right, have alliteration, right? Father Figure has the F alliteration. So does Fate of Ophelia. Right, 3 Fs. So there's sort of a running theme of Fs.
Wait, hold on. I'm curious. You said that there was a hidden 13 in the Fate of Ophelia when you texted me a few days ago. What was that?
There's a hidden 13 in where she says 100.
Yeah. Keep it 100 on the land, the sea. Yeah.
Right. Well, 100 is Travis Kelce's number, which is 87, plus her favorite number, which is 13. You didn't know that. You didn't know the reason she says 100 is because it's 87.
Well, no, 100 is a saying. Like, I keep it 100, like right. 100% real.
But she says she keeps it 100.
Yeah, right.
Because it's 87 plus 13.
No, that's crazy. What the hell?
Yes. And by the way, this is a point of debate between my daughter and I. Well, what you want to, which is, during the podcast with Travis, it turns out that Travis's brother loves the number 13.
Right.
And Taylor loves the number 13. And so she thought, oh, that's a commonality we have. And that she called triskaidekaphilia. And triskaidekaphilia is an unusual word. Triskaidekaphilia is the love of the number 13, happens to coincidentally be one of the only words that has the word Ophelia in it. Right? Is that an accident? Does Taylor not know that the word she used,
Do you see that he needs to go outside? Do you see that? You guys need to come and date him or like befriend him. Take him away.
I am dying to ask Taylor. We've had this discussion before. Anyway, so Father Figure.
All in jest. Love you.
Father Figure, we will get into. Very interesting song. Just says, she's singing it. It's a song that was originally sung by a famous man. It's really clearly, in her version of it, she has a big dick. I mean, she's right. So it's just a very interesting song. What is the one after Father? Oh, there's Opalite. We missed Opalite, which is a nice song, I think.
I like Opalite. Yeah, I like Opalite. I think it didn't stand out to me immediately, but I do like it. Perhaps it will when I, listen to it more.
I think it's kind of a bop.
I like it. I do.
It's got a very nice hook.
Is it a banger? I don't know, but it is a bop.
It is a banger? Yeah, I think these are bangers and bops, and it's a subtle distinction. I
think Elizabeth Taylor's a banger. I can't lie. I do like it.
Well, and I think that
I think Wood also a banger. I wish it was longer.
And I think
oh my God, the recording failed.
Your computer died. In all honesty. Alrighty. And
for the last part of the discussion, we're just gonna spend a few minutes on the life of a showgirl. The song.
Yeah. I just wanted to the life of the showgirl, we talked a little bit about, right? And I think it holds the ultimate meaning to this album. I think ultimately she is trying to write this album the way she writes a song, in the sense that the first song is a lot of foreshadow and kind of anticipating what's coming. And Showgirl has a lot going on in it, which I'm not going to reveal today. You're gonna have to wait till the last episode to talk about this. But I think the interesting thing is the end of Life of a Showgirl,
where she puts the recording.
She breaks the fourth wall, and she and Sabrina talk to each other as, like, she's thanking everybody for coming, right? This whole thing has been a show.
Yeah.
Right. She's turning the album into saying, this has been a show. Right, because she goes meta, is what I'm saying, and that makes that song a meta ironic song, and it has to be understood that way, and we need to think of the album a bit in that way. So I that's why I say it's very hard to do a hot take without really thinking about each of these songs, because she said they were all connected, right? She said that she couldn't on New Heights. She said, "Hey, guess what? We did 12 songs. We couldn't have done one more. We couldn't have done less. That there is this perfect puzzle, and so you're going to have to." Which is what we're going to do on the podcast. You're going to have to look at each song and try to understand, how does it contribute to an overall meaning? It doesn't mean she succeeded, right? But at least this is what she said she's trying to do. And I think there's a lot to be uncovered, which I have not heard critics talk about yet. And I think people, again, treat a lot of her words literally.
Yeah.
That she clearly, we talked about Shake It Off. Even a simple bop like Shake It Off, in fact, she doesn't herself shake things off. That was, right, the whole point of the song. Right. That was super irony, right? She's telling all these people, just shake it off, just shake it off. She's not a person.
She's not shaking on off.
She's not a person who shakes things off, right? So, so let's.
But we will discuss so much more in the next episodes.
So yes, and once again, we appreciate.
We do. We really do.
We really do. If you do like this episode,
like and subscribe. I mean,
yes.
You can't like,
and
but you can rate.
We will get better. We'll get my daughter a microphone. This is the first time we've used Riverside, and we will get better.
Yeah, we will get better, and that is dependent on listeners and viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Peace.